This phrase sounds respectful, but it quietly hands everything back to you. People who say, "up to you."
This phrase sounds respectful, considerate, flexible, almost generous. Up to you. It usually appears right before a decision needs to be made. Where to go, what to choose, how to move forward. The tone feels open, like the other person is giving you space. No pressure, no insistence, just freedom. But something subtle shifts in that moment. The choice doesn't feel shared anymore. It feels transferred. The responsibility moves quietly across the conversation, and what sounded like flexibility starts to feel like distance. Not disagreement, not support, just the absence of preference handed back to you.
It usually comes up in simple moments. A casual plan, a small decision, something that shouldn't feel heavy. Someone asks what the next step should be. There's a brief pause. Options are mentioned, possibilities float in the air, and then the phrase appears, "up to you." It sounds easygoing, non-demanding, like an offer of trust, but it also ends the exchange. No opinion is added, no direction is suggested. The question returns to the person who asked it, unchanged, but now alone. The conversation keeps its calm tone, yet something quietly steps away. What felt shared a moment ago becomes an individual choice.
Over time, the phrase becomes familiar. It shows up whenever commitment feels optional, when choosing might lead to blame, when responsibility feels easier to avoid. Up to you. It replaces collaboration. It replaces shared thinking. Instead of offering a preference, the speaker steps aside. Nothing is argued. Nothing is clarified. The decision moves forward, but unevenly. One person chooses, one person observes. And because the words sound respectful, the imbalance goes unnoticed. The phrase keeps the interaction smooth, but it quietly establishes a pattern where decisions are made alone, even when they didn't start that way.
On the receiving end, the effect is subtle. You're not rushed, you're not pressured, but you're suddenly alone with the choice. There's no sense of support, no sign of shared responsibility. You start second-guessing, not because the decision is difficult, but because no one else is standing with it. The phrase creates space, but not the kind that helps. It's space without guidance, without reassurance. And because the words sounded respectful, the weight they add isn't immediately noticed. The moment moves on quietly, but the balance of the conversation has already shifted.
Most people don't say this to avoid responsibility entirely. They say it to stay neutral. Up to you feels polite. It feels fair. It feels respectful of the other person's autonomy. Making a choice can feel risky. Having a preference can invite disagreement. This phrase avoids both. It allows the speaker to step back without appearing disengaged. No pressure, no insistence, no explanation needed. Socially, it works because it sounds considerate, even when it quietly removes shared involvement. It keeps the interaction smooth while shifting the weight elsewhere, and most of the time, no one questions it.
At some point, you recognize yourself. You've said it. Not to disappear, not to avoid caring, but because stepping aside felt easier than stepping in. Up to you. It sounded respectful, supportive, and maybe it was. But maybe it was also a way to avoid sharing the weight of the moment, to stay neutral, to stay safe, to avoid being responsible for how things turn out. Just enough distance to feel considerate. And if moments like this feel familiar, the quiet ones where decisions are made but not really shared, you might want to stick around. Who approved this?